is up, guys? Drew here, and in our office we just had some water infiltration and I've been trying to figure it out, and I finally found it. I wanted to take this opportunity to highlight a few awesome tools. Drew here with American Made. This video is going to be a quick rundown on some recent tools I purchased that have really been invaluable. I'm going to make it short and sweet because my battery's about to die. But to sum it up, I'm doing a certification in building biology. It's really building physics and how to improve the indoor built environment and how that impacts our biology, our health, how to build healthy buildings that'll last for generations. With this certification, I've kind of upped my game into some of the services I offer. Right now, I am at our medical practice that we've been working really hard on fixing up. And unfortunately, our new flooring we laid down started to peel up. It was a glue down flooring. I had used Happy Feet's concrete sealer, which is amazing, but under a window, the floor started to seep in between the seams. That's why glue down is so awesome. You can peel it up, that floor can be reused. Still a bummer, but these tools behind me here are really what allowed me to track it down. So I'm going to start off with my moisture meter. This is a professional grade, right around that $500 price point. The nice thing about this is, though, it's non-contact or non-probed, so you run it, you won't damage the surface. This really shines with drywall, but you can also use it for masonry, timber. It has seemed to be pretty accurate. Something more affordable if you're not doing this full time is a FLIR probe, and it does work well. The only problem is you have to bury these contact pins pretty deep in your material. Another nice feature is it has a flashlight on it, and it's small, which I really like. This runs around $80, but if you're just a beginner or just a contractor, I would recommend at least one of these. This is one of my favorite tools. We have these on the fire department, so I was really stoked to get this unit. This is a thermal imaging camera, also made by FLIR. TG268 is the model. I want to say it was around $800. It's got really good picture. It's already saved my tail a few times. The nice thing is it's infrared, but it also has this MSX technology, which allows you to really see what you're looking at. You can even read fine print, like if you were checking out a panel. But this thing has been awesome. Another cool feature is it's got this center point on the display and the laser. So if you're mapping something out, maybe you got a leak, you can utilize the laser and then give yourself a mark to know exactly where it is. You know, for instance, in the basement, mark something out, pull your measurements, go upstairs, see what it could potentially be. I got another video coming out where I found a leak in a basement with this right here, and it works phenomenally. Here I used it to basically boil down where my problem area was. It's very, very sensitive. I'll show you real quick how sensitive it is. I put my hand on the wall, you can see it picks up, but it can even read the temperature differential a long while after I pull my hand. So these are very, very sensitive. There's a bunch of good brands out there. Just know FLIR is kind of the prominent top of the line unit. So that's what I went with. Another awesome tool is a Borescope. And this came in just incredibly handy to get in places and see what's going on. I bought this off Amazon for, I want to say $300. Comes with a nice case. I was honestly shocked with the build quality and just really how useful it is. The cool thing is it's articulating, and the model I purchased has a dual camera on the end of it and a light So you can switch through different modes where you can have, right now it's dirty, you know, you can get a side view and a frontal view. And probably the coolest feature is it has this thumb dial, but it allows you, when you're in a space, to articulate the camera. But like I said, a bunch of different modes. I would say 4-foot extension. It also allows you to take pictures, you know, like if you were wanted to show a homeowner something. And it is very stiff, so you can pre-bend it to kind of how you need it. And it also is like waterproof. So if, you know, drain lines, putting it in water is not that big of an issue. Yeah, I've been very, very impressed, and this has been very, very useful. Like even in this scenario here, if I didn't just find this leak, I could have pulled out an outlet, knocked out the knock hole in the back of the outlet, and shoved this down into the wall to see if there was any water damage. So just incredibly useful, something you definitely want to have in your arsenal. You know, being able to help homeowners, you know, find water leaks, which can be very, very costly. So the quicker you catch them, the better off you're going to be. Hello. So here is a black walnut desk in formaldehyde-free cabinets behind me. That will be the next video that's out. Also laying all this Happy Feet glue down floor, herringbone style. That's a video I'm working on editing as well, so I apologize. I haven't been posting much new content. We are just so busy. But this was a really cool project. I'm really happy how it turned out. Kind of a miter folded edge off one side, 2 cabinets, and it's gonna get all trimmed out off the face. But that is gonna be a really, really cool video. So stay tuned for that. If you wanna stay up to date and you're on Instagram, you can check me out at Elevate Eco Institute. I'll link it down below. That's where I post more frequently just because those short videos are easier. But back to our issue. So when we moved all this furniture in, and the pressure of walking on the floor, this area right here started to seep. Basically sticky, brown moisture, but it was the adhesive had broken down and was seeping in between. And I started to take a razor knife, just get in between this floor, and it would pull up easy. And anybody that's done glue down floor knows it does not pull up easy. So it had been getting saturated for quite a while to get that way. Now, the beauty of glue down and why I do like it is in an instance like this, I can pull up what's affected, remediate what needs to be done, and put it back down after I scrape the glue off. Glue down, when you try to remove, or excuse me, click lock, which I do also like, but in an instance like this, it's gonna be almost impossible depending on how you laid the floor. You're gonna have to pull up way more of the floor and relay it. And you usually damage the locking mechanism even when you're careful. So that's why glue down to me is a superior product, especially in a commercial space where the likelihood you're gonna damage it is potentially higher with all the traffic. So how these tools help me is, one, the moisture meter allowed me to trace down where we were having a problem issue. I select drywall plaster roofing. You actually run it sideways, which is actually counterintuitive. But you can see I'm almost at 15% right here, and that, so by this outlet, I'm almost 16. I'm at that level where mold's gonna start to grow. And, you know, always inspect drywall. This little paint blister, obviously that's getting moisture. we've had record rainfall the last month, I think like 5 or 6 inches. So if you're gonna have a leak, it's, pay attention. If you're getting a lot of rain, those minor leaks or problems in the exterior, your ceiling over the years, when you have those really heavy rains, driving rain, high winds, that's when, if you have a little problem with that much moisture and rain, it's going to be exacerbated, and you're going to be able to find a leak early and deal with it before it becomes a big problem. So I noticed right by my control joint here in the floor, when I pop the baseboard off, I'm also at about 16%. So I know there's a problem, and right here by this outlet. Now typically, outlets are always a problem on exterior walls, depending on how well they're sealed, how careful, if they, did all the proper details correctly. So interior outlets on exterior walls, and if you have an exterior outlet. Obviously windows, most people understand, those are always a problem. So checking around my window. So right here I have another leak that's getting in. Now it doesn't take an active water leak to cause mold. If you have unchecked air infiltration, where air's coming in all the time, especially in the summer or in the winter, where you have the vast temperature differentials, like right now by that window, if we have hot air coming in, air conditioning running inside this office, where those two surfaces meet, there's going to be condensation. So let's check that window, if that will show up. So I'll try to put my laser on it, right where our moisture meter, right where our moisture meter picked that up, you can see that huge temperature differential. So that can be, a failed spray foam job, expansion foam, depending on how old it is, however they sealed it. Usually you don't tape the bottom of the exterior window so it can drain out. So that could either be moisture, or that could just be air infiltration. So we're gonna pop that bottom casing off. Now if we look down at the floor, you can see that outlet also wasn't properly air sealed around that whole area. There's a huge temperature differential, potentially another leak up high. Now our other problem area is down here at this control joint, and you can see there's another big temperature differential right in that area. So all these are giving me clues of what could potentially be going on. Now I'm going to take my Borescope, and that allows me to get eyes on those hard to see places to see what's potentially going on. Now I'm going to make this quick because my battery is about to die on my GoPro. So right now we're down by the control joint. So this is going to be hard to show you guys and manage both cameras, but essentially I can see daylight where that control joint was not sealed, and that is right where the water was getting in. So it's this control joint, which I can't get the right angle. Trying to hold these both in place, but there I can see daylight, probably a 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch hole. This is slab on grade. So what I'm going to do is cut a little drywall along that wall so I can work better, check the moisture if there's any rot, remediate that, seal that from both in here and go out there, seal that control joint that's just wide open, and also treat that bottom plate to see if there's any like lumber mold that will develop early on, even in treated. The one thing to remember with water infiltration in buildings. All mold needs to live is moisture and a food source. And the most common food source, even on materials that won't mold, is actually dust. And the dust that's in buildings is actually just dead skin cells. So any organic matter can be a food source for mold. So if you have moisture, you likely have mold. There's a few different products. I'll cover that more in detail if you guys find this interesting. Mainly Benefect or Vital Oxide are my two favorite mold killers that are safe. They're not toxic. Never use bleach, and my battery's at like 1%. So I hope you found this video helpful. Always look to up your game. If you are a contractor or in the home services, or even just a DIYer and you like to do your own stuff, I'll be posting more of this content as I go further down the path of building biology, and that will also include projects like this black walnut desk that was finished all non-toxic, zero VOC, and it turned out beautiful. So thanks for watching. Be sure to check me out on Instagram. I will link the tools down below, and as always, keep hammering.